Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Susie. I know, the weather, it's gets us, yeah, exactly. Wake them up. Shabbat shalom. There we go. Jonas, how you doing? Fantastic. There you go. He's got the bar mitzvah voice. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome. I invite you to take a moment. Take your cell phones. Make sure they're off or silent. All those good things. You know, God will not be texting us during the service. We hope. And so, take a breath. Kind of let go. Just all the craziness of running around. Right, Jason? There you go. And let us warm up with Kendra. What should we warm up with?
We're going to open up with a nigun. Focus on the syllables and the melody and feeling peaceful for Shabbat. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya one more time. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 ya la. Ya la
So on this beautiful Shabbat, we welcome it with light, and it's beautiful because the sun was coming out as evening starts to approach. To be able to enjoy those last few rays of warmth, and also to enjoy the sweetness of Shabbat, it is my honor to call forward our bar mitzvah, Jonas Weisberg, to come with his parents, Katie and Jason, and his brother Jared as well. You want to come on over here? Come on, Jared, there you go. So we're going to light our Shabbat lights. So, Jonas, here you go. Wait. This first. The bottom. Come up. There we go. Okay, change the there we go. Now we got our connection. Now, let's set them into there. Good. With that. All right. You join together with Andrew and Jonas on our Shabbat candle lessons, page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lecha tikneh, lecha Livner Shel Shabbat.
Now for the blessing of the fruit of the vine, Jonas will lead us in Kiddush on page 5. Amen. Imanu ba'arta, Tanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabat kodshecha, Ve'ahava u'ratzon, Ilchatzanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. May that be as sweet as also the words of Torah which are on your lips. I know because you have been studying for so many years this beautiful Shabbat. We are so honored and excited to celebrate with you and your entire family. And just enjoy, go for it, finish it, yes, there you go. No grape juice should go. I'm finished. Exactly. She plays a part of Elijah as well. Shabbat shalom. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. All right, sweet. As we join together Yedid Nefesh on page 11.
Yedid Nefesh HaRachaman, Yedid Nefesh HaRachaman, Meshachadeka, El Tzonecha, Meshachadeka, El Tzonecha. Yahweh Tzadka, Kimoya, Ishtachave Yadalai, Yadalai, Muhadai, Ishtachave Yadalai, Yadalai, Muhadai.
We turn now to page 15. A song, sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm, has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. Joyous songs of praise and of welcome. As we welcome Shabbat, as a bride, as a queen, Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha Dodi likra B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Lecha Dodi likra B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Lecha Dodi likra נקבל לחדוני לקראת העולם ונשבת נקבל שהמון וזכור לדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת ונתילה לך אדוני לקראת העולם תהי שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת העולם תהי שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונרקה כי היא מקור הברכה וראש מקדם נסופה זאת מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת העולם תהי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת העולם תהי שבת נקבלה
Verse 5.
התעוררי, כי בעורף ומאורי, אורי, שתדברי, תמדור עליי נגלה. לך דודי לקראת העולם, ונשמת נקבלה.
Please rise. Return and face the door and welcome Shabbat to come in. Verse 9.
אורי ושלום מעטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוף עולה, צופנו לעם שמאלה, אורי קלה ואורי קלה. לך דודי לקראת העולם, תהי שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת העולם, תהי שבת נקבלה.
So we turn to page 27, preparing ourselves for Chatzi Kaddish. And as always, feel free at any point, we don't have italics in this book. Anytime that you would like to join in the reading, by all means, feel free to join in the reading. Sometimes we just want to sit back and listen to the words, and sometimes we want to get lost in other readings that are throughout the prayer book. Feel free to allow yourself to be moved in any way where you want to go, where you need to go. We'll tell you where we're at. We'll give you education on this. But right now we're on page 27 in the middle. Teach me, O God, a blessing of prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to seek, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routines set my ways. Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ואלמדי לך חיבותי ימית מלכותי, וחיי כל יום מכל וחיית כל בית ישראל. בגדה ובזמן קריב. Amen. ישמע רבה מבורך, להבא ולום להלילה, יתברך וישתבח יפעל כלומם ויתעשה, ויתהדע ויתעלה, ויתעלה שמי בקודשה. לאימה מקובלתה ושירתה, תושבחתה וחברתה,
Yahweh. Amen. So we rise on page 28 for Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? I'm listening to my prayer. Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya 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 la la la.
Top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ari Aravi. Page 32.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot Ukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Akin Adonai Eloheinu b'shomreinu Nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגנו ממליה ואהבת אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Israel.
Please be seated as we turn to page 36 and continue with the Ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובחולך וקשרתם לאמות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו מה עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohim. Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi kamocha, ha'eni Adonai, mi kamocha. נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה. מלכותך רקוב בניך, חוקי הים, לפני משה וים זכינו ואמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד. יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה.
Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, Via Yerushalayim. Vishamru, page 44.
ושם בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת תגורתה בברית עולם בברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ונחש ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושם בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם בברית עולם
Abraham said, more than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. As we join together with our Amidah, beginning on page 46, I invite you to please rise.
Adonai Sfatai Tivta Adonai Sfatai Tivta Ufi Yadi Tehilatecha Ufi Yadi Tehilatecha Adonai Sfatai Tivta Adonai Sfatai Tivta Ufi Yadi Tehilatecha Ufi Yadi
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Mimotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagdol Hagibor Ha'Nora El Elyon גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות האימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחייך כל הצער להושיע, מוריד הצער, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, צומת נופלים לרופא חולים, ומציל אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ובריתו אליו, מלך מנהיג ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש בשמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue with our Amidah silently through page 60. I invite you to continue with either the words on the page or the prayers in your heart. And when you've concluded your own personal Amidah, I invite you to be seated or take your time. This is your time with God.
Shalom Rab. Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Umelech Adon Shalom, Shalom Am Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov be'einecha le'ra'eh et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום לך ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם
Take moments now of offering up prayers for healing of Mishabera. So turn to page 253. I invite you to bring to mind all of those who are in need of healing, family, friends, people within our community. Mishabera Avotenu v'Imotenu Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Liyavarech et HaCholim. I invite you at this time to please call out the names of all of those who are in need of healing. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להכיל עמם ולרחותם ולהחזיקם וישלח להם מהרה רפואה, רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, השקעה בעגלה בזמן כאביב ונאמר, אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Mishabera Avotenu b'kol ha'bracha le'imotenu may the source of strength who blessed your ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabera Imotenu b'kol ha'bracha la'avotenu Azazil avim v'refua shlema the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So this summer, Davi was on a program with Gimling Hilltop Camp. Thank you, Genesis, making sure you were paying attention. Yes. You did the claps. Makes me happy. That's Jewish camping right there. So she was on mitzvah, which you will be doing in just a few short years. And they have this amazing hike, Jonas. This incredible hike that they spend the first day hiking all throughout the mountains above where the camp is, and then they go and do mitzvah projects. And they choose what they're going to do and who they're going to be giving tzedakah to and so forth, but that really isn't the point of where I'm going with this. Because where I'm going with it is, throughout the time of the hike and throughout the summer, the saying that all of the campers had was, hey, we're in a drought. I mean, it became like this whole big thing on their tweets when they got home. We're in a drought. Everything was with the response of, we're in a drought, paying attention. So it was, even though sometimes it was a little flippant, in some ways, though, it was really reminding us that our teens were aware we're in a drought. Even for showers got shorter. I was really impressed. But we're in a drought. We're in fact entering the 5th year of this drought. And for those of you who follow me on Facebook, I have to say it was quite entertaining when all of a sudden I post, I'm going to be talking about what the drought has to do with Shabbat tonight, and the heavens opened up and it started raining. I'm like, I should talk about the drought more often. Maybe that's what it is. It's not the Paris vacation. I'm going to talk about rain or drought. Well, we know that Governor Brown's office has ordered a 25% reduction in water use statewide for all of our urban water users compared to the 2013 usage. There has been dwindling supplies in our rivers, our reservoirs, from underground storage. In fact, to see pictures of our reservoirs from just a few years ago to now, it's scary. There's been a voluntary statewide conservation that has reached 9%. However, that's still very short of the 25% that the governor is requiring. Individuals are asked to reduce their water usage to 55 gallons per person per day. Now, that sounds like a lot of water. I've never measured how much water it takes for me to shower. But generally speaking, the excess of the water from that 55 gallons may not be used by us personally, but we may be using it then outside on our lawns and our landscapes. And 50% of residential usage of water, and in some cases up to 80%, is used outdoors. Well, we're not only in a drought with our water, but this is where it ties in with Shabbat. We're in a drought with our time. How we long for the days before the Industrial Revolution, sort of. Because I do have to admit, I like my iPad. But it was a simpler life. You woke up in the morning when the sun came up. You started your workday when the sun was up, and then you went home and you were asleep by the time it was dark, because there wasn't much left to do when it was dark. Okay, there was other stuff left to do, but there were children in the room. There you go. So anyway, time was measured, or Jackson, I don't know. But time was measured by the land, was measured by the seasons, was measured by our harvests, watching the moon, the phases of the moon, and throughout the entire year. Communication was a handwritten letter. It wasn't an email, it wasn't a text. And we would send those letters off with somebody else who was traveling to that particular place, and it might have taken weeks, might have even taken months, who knows. Instantaneous communication, it wasn't possible then, except with the people who lived across the street. But we've evolved into higher thinking and engaged individuals. We've put pressure on ourselves to do more, to accomplish more in order to measure our success. If we're not able to keep up with the fast pace of our ever-changing world, then we'll be left behind. We'll be less successful. And one could even argue we'll be less satisfied. So consider this. How do we use our time today? Think about your schedules. Think about your calendar. How packed your calendar is. I've seen your calendar. Your calendar is packed. Handwritten, beautiful too, by the way. I wish I had that handwriting. They're packed from morning to night. And that doesn't just include us as adults, that includes our children as well. Yes, Jared, your calendar is packed. You have lots of homework, don't you? And gymnastics? What else do you have on that calendar, Rose? Cello practice, okay. So we got school, gymnastics, cello practice. 7:30 at night. What time do you leave in the morning? Oh my goodness, 12-and-a-half-hour day. Okay. And exactly, then there's homework, reading, practicing your Hebrew, of course, right? Just say yes. There you go, good answer. Yes, exactly. And for you, Jonas, especially because you got piled on there also, everything. Wait till what happens after tomorrow. You're not going to know what to do with yourself, my friend. You go, oh, I have all this time. Don't worry, Mom and Dad will fill it. She won't either. She won't know what to do with herself. Huh? I think you guys have to come up with a project here. So, we of course we're packed with our schedules. So from the moment that we wake up, we roll over. How many of you roll over and grab your phone and check email first thing in the morning? Wait, Sarah, you're checking your email in the first thing in the morning? No, okay, wait, go ahead. The phone, okay, you're checking the phone, okay, good. Like, there's something she hasn't told me. So we roll over, we look at our emails first thing in the morning before our feet even hit the bed. Sometimes we're checking Facebook, we're checking Twitter, we're checking news sites like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, sites that might even condense the news for us, like Skim. If you haven't seen Skim before, it's pretty cool. And we're trying to find out what happened in the world overnight while we slept. We write lists on whiteboards on the refrigerator. We have joint family calendars, when and how we're going to get where we need to go. We can track each other's locations with our smartphones. It's pretty awesome being able to track where my daughter is, just in case I can't remember her schedule. Communications are expected to be responded to immediately. The etiquette, by the way, for responding an email is 24 hours, but text messages better be responded to within minutes. And we don't cook fresh meals anymore like we used to. We try to, but we don't always have the time for it. Thank God for Trader Joe's with prepackaged meals. We throw this into the microwave, we can go. How we have lost time. We have to ration our time. We say that we have less time than we used to. We say, I wish I'd spent more time with my kids. But the reality is, time is the same. We still have 24 hours in a day. We still have 365 and a quarter days per year. We feel like we've lost so much time and we can't seem to get everything done. But have we lost this time, or have we overextended ourselves? So the Torah can actually teach us something about this. It's always good to go back to our ancient texts. We were once very connected to the earth as shepherds and as farmers who understood our relationship with God. God who breathes life into everything, especially through the land. And in the Torah portion that begins tomorrow night after Shabbat, so this coming week, we read about how especially we are connected through the land through our food. The food that we brought forth from the earth, from the grain, from the wine, from the oil, from the animals that we raised, that they were all brought to God as an offering on the altar. But after the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, we no longer brought these offerings to the altar. The Jewish people no longer had a physical or a political connection with any particular land. So we turned to words of prayer, to words of midrash, to words of stories, to Torah, as ways to get in touch with God, and in order to establish a law-abiding community. We have a lot to learn if we can only go back to the very beginning, if we can go back to the simple times of the Garden of Eden. We were created from the earth. The Hebrew word for human beings is Adam. The Hebrew word for the earth is called Adamah. Nice connection. And God said to the first humans, and passed on to each generation, before you is great abundance. Eat in joy, and eat with self-restraint. But there is one tree whose fruit you shall abstain from. But of course, who are we to abstain from a really good fruit tree? And that meant we lost the abundance the earth had to give us. Rather than having before us a plethora of food given to us to eat and to enjoy and to satisfy ourselves with, we were forced to leave the garden. We were forced to toil in the land by the sweat of our brows. And we were then forced to work to bring forth just enough food to satisfy our families and us. And then fast forwarding in the Torah, in a time when we cried out to God after we left Egypt, we were hungry. We lacked food. And so God's breath brought forth a flaky food. The people never had seen anything like this, and what did they ask? Man'u. What is this? And it was called from that, manna. And God provided them this manna each day for them to gather. But before Shabbat, God said, you're going to gather not just enough for one day, I want you to gather enough for two. Because on Shabbat, you should rest. On Shabbat, you need to have an utter day of restfulness. That's the first hint that toilsome labor not govern everything in our future. And if we give ourselves that day of rest, this Shabbat, then abundance will continue. God said, if you give yourselves this time for Shabbat, if you let go of the work, then there will be great abundance for you. But if we don't, then just like when we left the garden and we were forced to toil in the earth that then had so many thorns and we had to pull it back to find the soil to then be able to have our crops. If we don't enjoy Shabbat, then the thorns of an arid world will be before us. So our world, our lives, they're in crisis. We're pushing our resources to the limits. For our world, we as a community need to seriously consider how we can repair it, not only for our sakes, but for our children, for our children's children, and for their children. It's not only just about us. We have to take seriously the measures that we need to take in order to conserve water. Green lawns are not worth the price of losing food crops. There's so many other options for landscaping, from plants that are native to Southern California's climate to artificial coverings that look very real and take less maintenance and resources to preserve. There are a number of public areas that we're actually seeing who are taking this on, including in Tustin, where they're starting to move over to this artificial material, and many can't tell the difference, especially the little kids that are running on it and through it and around it and rolling all over it. Discover what your carbon footprint is. See how much carbon that we put out there, how much of an impact are our lives on our world. There are carbon footprint calculators, very easy to find. Literally just Google carbon footprint calculator or go to nature.org. I kid you not, nature.org. And you can learn how much total greenhouse emissions you produce or where you fall in average with everyone else. Just simply by answering some questions on these calculators, it's going to give you insight into your own practices. From how we drive, from how we recycle, how we do or we don't simply unplug an appliance that we're not using. Believe it or not, you may not be using the appliance, and you might think, oh, it's being plugged in. That doesn't take any energy. Yes, it takes energy. And so as we care for our world, we also have to care for ourselves. It's so easy to say, I'm going to conserve water, I'm going to do what it needs to take in order to give the world its rest. In fact, this is a sabbatical year. We're supposed to be allowing our world to rest. How much more so we too are supposed to rest. It's easy to say, I don't have time for Shabbat. It's too hard to take time for myself, for my family. But if we don't, then the Torah is absolutely correct when it says, those who do not observe Shabbat will truly die. For some time, we have to find some time to enjoy, to rest, times to reflect, times to celebrate. Time is like water. We can't get it back once it's gone. So we're in a drought. We're in a drought of time. And also, we are in a drought for water. Both can be repaired, but only if we take actions to do so. We can conserve water, we can save the planet, we can conserve time and save ourselves. We only have one world, and we only have one life. May we use both wisely and find the blessings within. And let us say, Amen. So a couple of things that are going on within our congregation. Next week, we will have Rabbi Yuri Regev here, and he is going to be joining us. He is the CEO of Chidush, which is for religious freedom and equality in Israel. We are so excited, so honored to have him here. And we will be hearing his analysis of the impact of the elections in Israel. And we're going to discuss how we as American Jews can involve ourselves in addressing the challenges that are before us. And he believes that a key to this is into the future of Israel as a democratic and inclusive Jewish nation. So he's going to share with us some of his insight in this. It keeps changing by the minute, I would say. Still trying to build that coalition, I think, that Yahoo is. So he's going to tell us more about that. So I invite you, please come and join us next Shabbat at 6:30, and really enjoy an incredible evening with Rabbi Regev, as Rabbi Regev will also be here in the States celebrating as his daughter-in-law will be ordained as a rabbi from Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion, just as her husband was last year, so we're calling him the Rabbi's Regev. I think it's pretty awesome. So Henry Jacobs, thank you so very much for joining us today, and helping us bring Rabbi Regev here next week. Also, just on a side note, he has this amazing accent that we can listen to him all night. It's a good voice, like I say. We also have a lot of great things that are going on. You can see in your announcement booklet before you. We do have confirmation that is going to be happening in a couple of weeks on the 22nd. Yay, Steve! That's just in, yay! So come and join us for that service. We have 11 confirmands this year, and each one of them will be sharing some great reflections about Jewish identity, who they are as Jewish young adults, as well as who they are in general. So it's really a remarkable service, so I hope you will join us for that. And then the next night is Shavuot, but before we get the next night, that morning on the 23rd, we have our adult B'nai Mitzvah reunion, the 10-year reunion. Yay, Susie! Who else is from the class from 10 years ago? Is it just you who's here tonight? Susie? Okay. An awesome Shabbat morning. They will be leading our Shabbat services back over at TBS, so outside of the Rotunda, so come and celebrate with them. And then we also have our this year's Adult B'nai Mitzvah class, which is on June what? 13th. Awesome. So that'll be coming up as well. Yeah, there we go. So a lot of wonderful things. Oh, and then to continue then Shavuot, we have Our Shavuot program is a Saturday evening. We will start off first with Yizkor and then with a potluck dinner, a dairy dinner, so with a Blitz bake-off, which basically the secret ingredient this year that you have to incorporate somehow into that will be crepes. After that, what you do with it, just no meat. Keep it dairy, or not. So, we'll be having that along with Dr. Marilyn Haran from Chapman University will be joining us for a wonderful program. She is an incredible professor in the Holocaust department. She's the head of the Holocaust department. So she will be speaking to the entire group. And then you get to choose, after that, 2 other sessions. One is with Denise Stevens. We promise it will be a little bit cheesy, or very cheesy, because it will be with cheese making and the importance of dairy in Shavuot observance. And then with Cantor Reinwald, yours is on Hatikva. Anything else you want to share with it? So that will all be on Saturday night on May 23rd, all happening at TBS. So we hope you all will come out and join us. And with that, let us conclude our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, which we can, actually before Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 278, our counting of the Omer as we start to approach Shavuot. Page 278, please rise. The eye has a dark part and a light part. One can see only through the dark part. From Midrash Tanchuma. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Cantor?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer.
Amen. Today is the 28th day, which is exactly 4 weeks of the Omer. So we are getting closer to Sinai. So we continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282.
Aleinu L'Shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, l'tzeiku la'yoseh b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'arazot, ve'lo sam lahu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגמר עלינו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Our thoughts now turn to those who are no longer with us, yet their memory is truly a blessing. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us: Billy Farson, Lorraine Schulman, Elaine Harris, Judy Davies, Alma Ruth Grossford, and Kayla Pomerantz. Remember those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own, those whose yard sites occur on this Shabbat and during this coming week. Mark Boone, Lottie Blazinski, Enid Dunkelman, Rose Engel, Rose Steinberg, Helen Fisher, Bunny Freed, Edward Friedman, Barbara Gerber, Mark Goodman, Ruth Gotdemir, Alex Karp, Benjamin Cutlow, Barbara Susan Littman, Brian Marshall, Gary Newcamp, Marcy Silverstein, Sydney Tannenbaum, and Robert Warren, and also the Ma'alot victims. If there is anyone here who's in the period of mourning of Shiva Shloshim Shana, who's observing a yard site of a loved one whose name I have not called, I invite you to please share their names with us.
For all of them and for all those who have given their lives al Kiddush Hashem for the sanctification of God's holy name. For all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we join together, page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba, v'yalma tibrach v'urtei v'yamnif malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei kol Beit Yisrael, baralau b'zman kariv v'imru, amen. V'hei Shemei Rabba mevarach v'elam v'lonei Olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yikromah v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitabel v'yitalal Shemei v'yisha b'richu. Ve'elam v'yinkol v'rfata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram v'yalma v'imru, amen. V'hei Shalom Rabba v'yishmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom v'romav, u'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories truly be for our blessing. And let us say, amen. Jonas, we have one more piece of business to take care of. Here we go. All right. She's ready to get her book feet.
lechem miharetz v'te'avon.
Perfect. Awesome. Good job. And Jason, let's put down, please. Because we remember our blessings come not only from our hands, but also from God on high. There we go. As we continue, very good with our final one. Everybody put your prayer moves down. Put your arms around somebody next to you.
Say shalom b'brahma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.